It is, and as the lawyers themselves state, to date, so far, they've decided to stay quiet on this matter. But it seems very clear now that they have been fed up with the fact that there seem to have been briefings coming from across the Atlantic from America when it comes to the dealings that have been going on, when it comes to the prosecutors and also Prince Andrew's legal team. Within this statement, they talk about misleading media briefings, inaccurate statements and breaches of confidentiality by the Department of Justice that have given an entirely misleading account of our discussions with them. Now, within that statement, they also go on to say that Prince Andrew, on 3 separate occasions, has offered his assistance. It says the Duke of York has, on at least 3 occasions this year, offered his assistance as a witness to the Department of Justice. Unfortunately, the Department of Justice has reacted to the first 2 offers by breaching their own confidentiality rules and claiming that the Duke has offered zero cooperation. In doing so, they go on to say that they are perhaps seeking publicity rather than accepting the assistance proffered. Now, this statement comes after newspaper reports this morning that actually federal prosecutors over in New York have now formally requested through the British government that Prince Andrew, as part of their criminal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, is brought forward really to answer their questions. Of course, over the last 10 years or so, there's been a huge amount of legal toing and froing. We've had huge amounts of reports about letters being sent from America here to the UK requesting that Prince Andrew speaks about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. You may remember, of course, the interview that Prince Andrew gave at the end of last year, where for the first time he talked in details about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, of course, a billionaire, but also a convicted sex offender. And it's worth saying that Prince Andrew all along has said that there was no wrongdoing when it came to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, he stayed with him. He stayed in his home in New York, but at no point did he see anything that he believed should be reported to the authorities. But certainly when he gave that interview last year, Prince Andrew said that he would be willing to speak to any American law enforcement agencies that felt necessary to speak to him. However, the American prosecutors, certainly at the start of this year, were saying, look, we've had zero cooperation from Prince Andrew and his legal team. But this statement today is very surprising. But I think it has now clearly become the time for his legal team to speak out, because they believe that their client, Prince Andrew, is being misrepresented. And as they say, he has on 3 separate occasions agreed to speak to them as they've requested.
Yeah, and just to be more clear about this, this formal request that has come from the Department of Justice, what does that mean legally for Prince Andrew? Does he have to cooperate?
So this is described as a mutual legal assistance treaty. And in essence, it's an agreement between 2 states when it comes to them, one state investigating a criminal case. And when you have a person who lives in a separate country, in this case, you've got America saying to the UK, look, we want to speak to Prince Andrew. This is all going through the Home Office. But within this statement, the legal team are also suggesting that, again, there has been this breach in simply talking about the fact that this has even existed. Also, the fact that today we've also had the Home Office saying that it is their long-standing policy for them not to confirm or deny whether these mutual legal assistance requests exists. Also, over in America, you have the Southern District of New York prosecutors and also the Department of Justice also, again, refusing to confirm whether or not this has happened. But certainly it does seem to be that there is now this more formal process, this formal request in to make sure that Prince Andrew now is made in some ways to speak to the authorities. But then again, in this statement, it's very clear his legal team is saying, look, we have already said that Prince Andrew will speak as a witness when it comes to the prosecutors over in America, still trying to dig down into those crimes that were carried out by Jeffrey Epstein.